Hi friends, my name is Sudarshan. I have been teaching electrical machines since 2009. So this electrical machines subject is very important for GATE, ESE, nothing but engineering service examination, PSUs, public sector units, and for state level competitive examinations like Transco, Genco, this comes like that. Okay. So for GATE examination, this electrical machine subject weightage will be from 12 to 16 marks like that. 12 to 16 it will vary from year to year. In this electrical machine subject, so we are having chapters like transformers, induction machine, synchronous machine and DC machine. See, for understanding this electrical machine subject clearly, or I can say for understanding chapters like transformers, induction machine, synchronous machine, DC machine clearly, if you want to solve all previous questions from GATE examination, from ESE examination, from PSUs or from Transco, Genco, you should have some basics. Without having basics, it is not possible to understand electrical machine subject clearly. Okay. So first of all, I can classify this electrical machine subject into 4 chapters. So I can say first chapter nothing but transformers. Second chapter induction machine, third chapter synchronous machines, and fourth chapter DC machines. Before explaining these chapters, first of all we should explain basics clearly. So in this session, first of all I'll give one layout. So in chapter number 1, in transformers chapter, what are the topics which I am just going to explain? Similarly in induction machine chapter, what are the topics which I am just going to explain? So in the next video, I will be giving topics related to synchronous machine and DC machine. Okay. In this session, I am just going to give topics related to chapter number 1 transformers, chapter number 2 induction machines. Okay. So see guys, first of all, before starting transformers, induction machine, synchronous machine, DC machine, we should see basics. So in the next video, as I told you, I'll be giving topics related to synchronous machine, DC machine. After introduction, so if I start subject, before starting this electrical machine subject, first of all I'll spend some videos. I'll spend some videos for basics, for explaining basics. If you understand basics only, then only you can understand electrical machine subject clearly. So in few videos, I'll be discussing basics. Then I'll go for transformers. Then I'll go for induction machine, then I'll go for synchronous machine, then last I'll go for DC machine, and after completion of these 4 chapters, I'll be explaining special machines also, like hysteresis motor, stepper motor, like there's some special motors are there. Those topics are important for ESE, for engineering service examination. Special motors are also important. So those topics also I'll be discussing after completion of 4 chapters. Okay, maybe I'll take that special machines as a chapter number 5. Okay. See guys, as I told you, first of all I'll spend some time for explaining basics. So after understanding basics only you can understand electrical machine subject clearly. Next, after explaining basics, then I'll go for transformers. See, in transformers, these are the topics we are having. So first of all, the main problem with the students is electrical machine subject is a vast subject. It's a vast subject. Okay. So syllabus is very much. Okay. But don't be afraid by seeing this syllabus, because if you follow the sequence which I'm just going to say, so please try to follow the videos, okay, whatever I will tell. So please try to watch the videos in the same sequence. Subject electrical machine subject will become very easy for you. First of all basics, then transformers, then induction machine, then synchronous machine, then DC machine, next special machines. Okay, so in the meanwhile, if I take transformers chapter, whenever I will be discussing these topics, there I will be solving previous GATE questions, previous ESE questions also. Okay, so subject I'll make you very easy. So only one thing you have to do is very simple. Please try to watch the videos whatever I told the sequence. Okay. So let us see, first of all in this video I'll be telling you what are the topics related to transformers and the induction machines. Next video I'll be giving topics related to synchronous machine and DC machine. Okay, see in transformers, first one, definition, features and working principle of transformer. Okay, so what is the definition of transformer? Okay, what is the working principle of transformer, and what are the features of transformers, all those things I explained. Okay, before explaining this transformers chapter, before starting this transformers chapter, I told you already I'll be spending some time for explaining basics. In this basics I'll be discussing what is meant by static induced EMF, what is meant by dynamic induced EMF. Okay, what about Fleming's right hand rule, what about Fleming's left hand rule, what about right hand thumb rule, what about Faraday's first law, what about Faraday's second law, right hand thumb rule. Okay, what is meant by armature winding, what is meant by field winding, what is meant by excitation, what is DC excitation, what is single excited device, what is a double excited device, what is the nomenclature for current entering into the board. Now how can you represent direction of current entering into the board, how can you represent direction of current coming from the board, all those things I'll be discussing in a basics. So after basics I'll go for transformers. As I told you, first topic I'll be taking a definition of transformer, features of transformer and working principle of a transformer. Okay, and the next topic I'll be taking types of coupling. In transformer, two windings are magnetically coupled. In types of coupling, you are having positive coupling circuit, negative coupled circuit. Okay, so that types of coupling I'll discuss. At the same time I'll discuss what about dot notation. In the third one, so vector diagram of transformer under no load condition and load condition, and equivalent circuit of transformer under no load condition and full load condition. Okay, these things, this is the third topic I'll take. Next I'll take EMF equation of transformer and what nameplate, if you see nameplate details of transformer, what actually that nameplate details tell us. Okay, so that nameplate details also I'll see. Next, features of ideal transformer. Okay, next I take effect of winding resistance on the operation of transformer. See, generally for ideal transformer we'll assume that winding resistance 0, but to be frank, practically you will be having some winding resistance will be there. So because of that winding resistance, what is the effect you are having on the operation of transformer, that topic I'll be seeing here. Next up, transformer as constant flux device. I'll tell you in this topic how I have to maintain transformer as constant flux device. Okay, and why we have to maintain a transformer as constant flux device, all those things I'll be explaining in this topic. Okay, next, effect of leakage flux on the operation of a transformer. See, actually leakage flux means, in a transformer you will be having a primary winding and secondary winding. If whatever the flux, if flux links with both the primary winding and secondary winding, that flux can be called as mutual flux or useful flux, or I can say working flux. Suppose if flux linking with only primary winding, it won't link with secondary winding, that flux can be called as leakage flux. So, or I can say if flux links with the secondary winding, it won't come and link with the primary winding, that flux also can be called as leakage flux. Ideally we'll assume leakage flux to be 0. To be frank, leakage flux will be there. So what is the effect of leakage flux? What is the effect of leakage flux on the operation of transformer? Here I'll be discussing. So after including effect of winding resistance, effect of leakage flux, we'll construct equivalent circuit of transformer practically. That means after considering winding resistance, after considering leakage flux, we'll draw equivalent circuit of transformer practically. Okay, this is the one. This is the topic. Next I'll take transformer core. So transformer core is made up of which material? Okay, and what about core staggering? What is meant by stacking factor? So these things we'll be seeing in transformer core. Okay, next, difference between core type transformer and shell type transformer. Okay, this topic also I'll be seeing in this topic. Okay, next I'll be taking losses. Losses generally will be having copper losses, iron losses. Okay, stray load losses and dielectric losses. Okay, among these four losses, copper losses and iron loss are very important for GATE examination, for ESC or for PSCs, whatever. Okay, this losses topic is very important for GATE, for ESC or for competitive examinations also. Okay. Next, after explaining losses, I'll discuss here rating of transformer. Transformer rating generally it will be in kVA. What is the reason behind that? That I'll be discussing in this topic. Okay. Next, I'll be taking efficiency. Okay. After explaining losses topic, I'll take here efficiency of transformer. It's very, very important for once again GATE examination, ESC, PSUs. So for any competitive examination, this efficiency topic is very important. Next, voltage regulation is also very important topic for GATE, ESC and for PSUs. Okay. Next, testing of transformers. Here in this testing of transformers, mainly we are having open circuit test and short circuit test. Those OC test and SC tests are very important once again for GATE, for ESC, for PSUs. This topic is very important. Similarly, I will be discussing here parallel operation of transformers. Once again, very important for GATE, ESC and PSUs. Is it clear? Next, I'll discuss after explaining this topic. I'll be discussing the difference between power transformer and distribution transformer. Okay, so this topic I'll be discussing. Next, switching transients in transformer. This topic also important for GATE, but not for problematic point of view. This is important. I mean, the questions will be asking from this topic in a theory oriented way. They will ask questions in a theoretically. Okay, so switching transients in transformer very important for GATE. Maybe for ESC also, but they won't ask problems. They will be asking theoretical questions. Okay. Next, effect of non-linearities and saturation of magnetic core on the operation of transformer. Very, very important for understanding the three-phase transformers topic. You should be very familiar with this topic, effect of non-linearities and saturation of magnetic core on the operation of transformer. This topic is very important for understanding three-phase transformers. Okay. See here, generally, ideally, we'll assume that transformer core doesn't have any non-linearity property and doesn't have any saturation problem. But practically non-linearity will be there and saturation also will be there. So because of that non-linearity saturation, what is the effect on the operation of transformer? This we'll be discussing in this topic. So somewhat time consuming a topic, but very important for understanding three-phase transformers. Okay. Immediately after completion of this one, I'll be discussing three-phase transformer connections. Once again, very important for GATE, ESC, PSUs also. Next, auto transformers, very, very important for GATE examination, ESC, PSUs, very, very important topic, auto transformers. Okay. Next, I'll be taking the Scott connection. Scott connection. Still now, there is no question asked from a Scott connection for GATE point of view. But for ESC examination point of view, some questions are asking from Scott connection. So that also we'll discuss. Okay, Scott connection also we'll be discussing. Next, open delta or VV connection. Yes, some questions are asking from this topic in a GATE examination and ESC also they are asking questions from this topic. Very, very important. Okay. Next, magnetically coupled circuit and conductively coupled circuit, very, very important. So recently, they are asking questions from this topic in a GATE examination. So we should understand this topic. It's a very important topic. Okay. Next, after explaining all those topics, if any topics, whatever some small topics will be there, those topics will be discussing in miscellaneous topics. Okay, here whatever the topics, small topics are there, those topics I'll be discussing here. Okay, so please try to have a look here. Among these transformers, I had given whatever the star marks I kept. This is very important for GATE or for PSUs also. Not only this one, if you see here, see here also EMF. They are asking some questions on EMF equation of transformers also, and so indirectly from this area also they are asking questions indirectly. So if we start subject, then you can understand. So in the whenever I'll be discussing these topics, in the meanwhile I'll be discussing previous questions also which they asked in a GATE examination or ESC, like some PSUs will be there. Those questions also I'll be discussing. Okay, but for understanding the subject clearly, sequence is very important. Please try. I'll be uploading videos in the same sequence which I told. First basics, next transformers. In this transformers also, this one first topic, next this topic, next this topic, like that I will be taking. Okay, so please try to watch the videos whatever I'll be uploading in the same sequence, you please try to watch the videos. Subject will become very easy for you. Okay, I am damn sure that you can solve any question from GATE, you can solve any question from ESC, you can solve any question from PSUs, or you can solve any questions from state level exams like Transco, Genco, Discoms, you can take any examination. So whatever the questions they are asking from electrical machines, so you can solve questions without any doubt. But you please watch the videos in the sequence which I told. Okay, this is the topics, this is the syllabus in transformers. Syllabus is almost all same for GATE and GATE, ESC, PSUs, or for Transco, Genco, Discom. Syllabus is almost all same. Okay, next let me discuss induction machine syllabus. See, this induction machine I'll take it as chapter number 2. Induction machine. Induction machines means it may be induction motor or induction generator. But for if you see GATE, ESC or PSUs or any competitive examinations like Transco, Genco, mostly they are focusing questions from induction motor only, not induction generator. Okay, so they are going to ask main questions mainly from induction motor only. So syllabus also, if you see GATE syllabus or ESC syllabus, so maximum syllabus will be from induction motor only. Okay, so first of all I'll be discussing here features of three-phase induction motor. Okay, what are the similarities and dissimilarities between three-phase induction motor and three-phase transformer? I'll be discussing their similarities and dissimilarities between induction motor and transformer. Okay, next here production of RMF, rotating magnetic field. Okay, production of rotating magnetic field. What are the conditions for production of rotating magnetic field in three-phase induction motor, in M-phase induction motor? Those things I'll be discussing here. Yeah, here only I'll be discussing double field revolving theory also. Double field revolving theory also I'll be discussing. After production of RMF, I'll be taking double field revolving theory. There I'll tell you why RMF is possible in induction machine, why RMF is not possible in transformers. That topic we'll discuss anyway here. Okay. Next, after completion of this topic, I'll be taking construction of stator. Construction of stator. And what are the type of slots we are using in stator? You know, in stator we'll be having stator core will be there. In the stator core, we are having some slots. In the stator slots only, we are placing stator winding. So we should discuss here types of slots. Means we are having open slots, semi-open slots, closed slots. Like this, so many types of slots are there. I will discuss which type of slots we are using in induction motor. Those things I'll be discussing here. Next, formation of poles on a stator surface. How poles will be formed on a stator surface in induction motor, and I'll tell you difference between homopolar construction and heteropolar construction. So which type of poles will be formed on stator surface in induction motor, that I'll be discussing here. Okay. Next, so depending on the construction of rotor, induction motor is classified in two types: squirrel cage induction motor SCIM, simply I can write SCIM, and slip ring induction motor, so SRIM. Slip ring induction motor can also be called as wound rotor induction motor. So I'll be discussing here difference between SCM and SRIM. So many points will come here. So this is also I'll be discussing here. So see, among these, you know, production of RMF is important, features of three-phase induction motor is important, and yes, is very very important for GATE, ESC and PSUs also. Difference between a squirrel cage induction motor and a slip ring induction motor. Next, working principle and production of torque in induction motor. So how torque is produced in three-phase induction motor, on what principle this induction motor will work, that I'll be discussing here. Next, you know, here rotor EMF and rotor frequency under starting condition. SC means what? Simply I can write starting condition. Starting condition I'll write it as SC, and running condition. What is the rotor frequency under starting and under running condition? What is the rotor EMF under starting and running condition? So I'll be deriving there, and here I'll be deriving rotor EMF, rotor frequency under running condition, under starting condition. So this formula also, this topic is very important. Here in this topic we will be discussing some formulas. Those formulas are very important. Okay. And next, Stator fed induction motor, very important. Stator fed induction motor means what? General whatever motors general we are using, those motors can be called stator fed induction motor. Means we are giving supply to stator. Okay, those motors can be called as stator fed induction motor. Supply is given to stator terminals, torque will be produced in the rotor. Okay, those motors can be called as stator fed induction motor. So that topic I'll be discussing here. Next, immediately, rotor fed induction motor. This motor can also be called as inverted induction motor. It's very important. So some questions maybe in the gate examination also they are asking some questions on stator fed and rotor fed induction motor also. So please try to understand. Rotor fed induction motor means what? We are giving supply to rotor, okay, and torque will be produced in stator. So somewhat opposite to this stator fed induction motor, we will be discussing what is the difference between stator fed induction motor and rotor fed induction motor. Those things we will be discussing here. Next, immediately after completion of rotor fed induction motor, we will be discussing analysis of induction motor. That means I will be giving nomenclature like rotor resistance can be represented with R2, rotor reactance can be represented with X2, rotor reactance and running condition can be represented as XR. Like that I will give some nomenclature. So this analysis of induction motor means I will be giving some nomenclature. So from that analysis of induction motor, we are going to construct equivalent circuit of rotor. I am not saying motor, equivalent circuit of rotor. Okay. Next, rotor power division. So here this topic is very important, guys. This is very important because in this rotor power division, they are asking one question. Rotor power is to rotor copper losses is to mechanical power ratio, like 1 is to S is to 1 minus S, one relation is there. That topic is very important for gate as well as for ESC examination also. So a very important topic. Next, approximate torque equation. So this is very important topic. So torque equation very important because this approximate torque equation. This torque equation is very important. We might have seen electromagnetic torque equal to 3 into 60 by 2 pi s into S E2 square R2 by R2 square plus SX2 whole square. One equation will come. That is very important because by using this torque equation only, we are going to explain maximum torque, starting torque, torque ratios, torque slip characteristics, torque speed characteristics, variation of TS characteristics with R2, X2, V. See, for all those things, this approximate torque equation is very important. So this topic is very important. After completion of approximate torque equation, after deriving torque equation, I will go for maximum torque. What is the condition for maximum torque? Starting torque. What is the condition for maximum starting torque? Okay, so those topics we will be discussing here. Condition for maximum torque in a squirrel cage induction motor, in a slip ring induction motor. Condition for maximum starting torque in a squirrel cage induction motor, in a slip ring induction motor. Like that we will be discussing some information in this topic. Okay. Next, immediately torque ratios. Torque ratios means like full load torque by maximum torque equation. What mean? Full load torque by maximum torque equation, or I can say TST by Tmax. Like that some ratios are there. This is very important, guys. Please try to remember torque ratios is very important. Okay. Similarly, maximum torque, starting torque is very important for gate, for ESC. Okay. Next, various of after explaining torque ratios, I will be discussing torque slip or torque speed characteristics. Okay. Next, variation of torque slip characteristics with rotor resistance R2, rotor reactance X2, applied voltage V1. This topic also I will be seeing. Next, equivalent circuit of induction motor, very important for gate, ESC, PSUs, very important topic. Next, I will be taking starting methods of induction motor. See, though 3-phase induction motor is self-starting motor, in starting condition it will take large amount of current. To reduce that high starting current, we need some starting methods. So that starting methods only I will be discussing here. Starting methods of induction motor. So very important for gate, ESC, for PSUs, very important for any examination. Okay. Next, power flow diagram. How power will flow in induction motor. That means we are giving power input to stator. After stator, we will be having some losses, stator copper losses, stator iron losses. Then supply will go to, power will go to rotor. So from rotor, we will be having rotor copper losses will be there, rotor iron loss will be there. Then mechanical power will be developed. That mechanical power can be called as gross mechanical power developed. From that gross mechanical power developed, if we subtract friction, windage losses, then you will get net power, or I can say shaft power. Those topics I will be discussing in power flow diagrams of induction motor. Very important once again for gate. Next guys, speed control of induction motor. Very very important for any examination. So very important. Okay. Next, in induction motor, no load test of induction motor and a block rotor test of induction motor is very important. This no load test is very important for gate, ESC, for PSUs. Okay. See, this no load test of induction motor is almost all similar to open circuit test in a transformer. Similarly, block rotor test of induction motor is similar to short circuit test in a transformer. Okay. Next, so nameplate details of induction motor. If you go and see any induction motor, on that induction motor you can see some nameplate details. What that nameplate details suggest, all those things I will be discussing here. Okay. Next, after this will be taking a circle diagram. This circle diagram topic, still now there is no question from circle diagram in gate examination, but maybe 1 or 2 questions they are asking from circle diagram in ESC. So that's the reason why I had taken this topic also. This is important for ESC, engineering service examination. Okay. Next, induction generator. We will be seeing induction generator also, but not too much, as we will discuss 3-phase induction motor, because induction generator is not very important for gate, for ESC, or for any examination. But anyway, I will be giving some information regarding induction generator also. Okay. Next, harmonics in the induction motor. Harmonics in induction motor. Okay. We are having in induction motor, if you see, we are having some space harmonics, slot harmonics, time harmonics. So like that, some harmonics are there in induction motor. Those topics I have to discuss here. Okay. See, in harmonics you are having space harmonics will be there. Because of space harmonics, we will be getting one phenomena, nothing but crawling phenomena. This is what I can say, unwanted phenomena. I will discuss what is that phenomena. Because of that phenomena, what will happen, all those things we will discuss here. So because of space harmonics, we will get a crawling phenomena. Because of slot harmonics, we will get cawing phenomena. So this crawling cawing phenomena also will be discussing, very important for any exam. Next, after discussing this, some special rotors also will be discussing. This topic is not important for gate, but this topic maybe they may ask 1 or 2 questions from this special rotors in the ESC or any other PSUs, but this topic is not that much important for gate examination. Anyway, we will be seeing special rotors also. Special rotors means in these special rotors we are having double case rotor. If I use double case rotor, that motor can be called as double case induction motor. If I use D bar rotor, that motor can be called as D bar induction motor. Okay. So this topic will be seeing, very important. Maybe important. Maybe they may ask 1 or 2 questions from these special rotors in ESC or any PSUs. That's why we will discuss this topic also. And last but not least, in induction machine, single phase induction motor, very important for gate, ESC, for PSUs, for any examination. The single phase induction motor is very important. Okay. So we'll see single phase single winding induction motor is not a self starting motor, that we'll be discussing here. So to overcome that, we'll go for single phase 2 winding induction motor. So after discussing single phase 2 winding induction motor, we'll have some split phase induction motor, capacitor split phase induction motor. Under capacitor split phase induction motor also we are having capacitor start induction motor, capacitor run induction motor, capacitor start, capacitor induction motor, like that some motors are there. We'll be discussing those in single phase induction motor. This single phase induction motor topic is very important. Okay. See, in this video I had given topics whatever we are having in first in transformers and induction machine. and please try to see what, I mean, wherever I just kept the star marks, those star marks are very important for examinations. In the next video, I will be discussing topics related to synchronous machine and DC machine. Then after explaining syllabus in a synchronous machine, DC machine, in thereafter I'll be starting explaining basics videos. In some videos I'll be discussing basics. Immediately I'll start transformers. After starting transformers chapter also, I'll be uploading videos in the sequence which I told. Okay, transformers, induction machine, synchronous machine, DC machine. Once again I am requesting you, please watch the videos in the order which I told, then subject will become very easy for you. Example, if you see transformers, whatever the topics I explained, I'll be discussing topics in transformers, induction machine, synchronous machine, DC machine. So wherever previous questions we are having, those previous questions also I'll be discussing in those topics. Okay, example, if you see efficiency, if I am discussing efficiency topic, whatever previous questions from my efficiency topic in a gate or whatever, if you take first of all we'll concentrate mainly on gate examination, because if you solve gate questions, then I'm damn sure that you can solve ESC questions, because gate questions are very tough. If you are able to solve gate questions, so definitely you can solve ESC questions, PSC questions also. No doubt I'll be explaining ESC, PSC questions also. First of all, we'll be focusing mainly on gate questions, because subject is very vast. If I discussing gate, ESC, PSC questions continuously, so we cannot complete the syllabus. So first of all, when I'll be discussing topics, there I'll be discussing previous gate questions which are very tough. If you understand those questions, ESC, PSU or Transco, Genco questions will become very easy for you. Okay, no doubt if after completion of syllabus, then separately I'll discuss ESC questions, PSC questions, Transco, Genco questions also. Okay, thank you.